Good morning, friends. Happy Monday. Let's see who we got here. Good morning, Rose. Hi, Jen. Good morning, Michelle. Hey, Brooke. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Cassie. Hi, Rosa. Good morning, Jesse. Hey, Megan. I'm trying to see if Janelle's over here on TikTok yet. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Doug. Welcome. Oh, my Lord. Whew. How's everybody feeling today? How was your sleep? How was your dreams? If you're new, I see a lot of new people coming in from TikTok this morning. So if you're new, welcome. It's Coffee and Magic. We're going to chat a little bit about the energy, just a little bit, and then we're going to get into sensory card pulls. So you'll get a little message for your week. So hang around for that. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Holly. Good morning, Jen. How are my Pisces people doing? Actually, how are just my people doing, generally speaking? This energy has been bananas. Bananas. We're going to talk a little bit about that this morning because there's a lot happening this week astrologically and moving forward. So we'll talk a little bit about that and then get into the card pulls. But Wednesday for coffee and coaching, we're going to dive a lot deeper into this particular energy. And if you have like specific questions and things you want to dive into, we can do that as well. So keep that in mind for coffee and coaching for Wednesday, because it is a doozy. Why don't we start with some smudgies? Okay, I've got some fresh smudgies right here for you. Hey, Jackie. I know, so sleepy. That daylight savings time does not help. My children were zombies this morning. I felt really bad. Not bad enough to keep them home, but I felt for them. All right. Here's some smudgies for you, TikTok. Good morning or good evening, depending on where you are. There you go, Instagram. And YouTube. All right. And me. I'm going to try not to burn myself this morning. Put any holes in my shirt. Good morning. Time change is so stupid. But it's helpful these days that my phone does the time change for me, because back in the day when I was in charge of doing like all of my things manually, it didn't really happen. So there's that. Good morning. Good morning, black sheep of the family. Hi, Victoria. Good morning, Denise. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So dreams. I see some comments already that you've been having vivid dreams. I'm not doing any yes or no questions. What I do on Coffee and Magic is we chat a little bit, we connect, and then I do what we call sensory card pulls. So I'll choose 3 different things. You pick the one that feels aligned with you, and then I do 3 collective pulls that will align with whatever you chose. It's fun. It's good. It's better. In my opinion, it's better than yes or no questions because it makes you think, makes you do things. Okay. So anyway, a few things about this energy. We have a lot of planets in Pisces right now. A lot. The heavy hitters are all in Pisces, you would say. We've got the Sun in Pisces, we've got Mercury in Pisces, we've got Neptune in Pisces, and we've got Jupiter in Pisces. And when I say Neptune in Pisces, that is what I mean. Okay. what does that mean? What does Pisces energy mean for us? Like I'm sure if you've been here for a minute, you've heard me talk about Pisces energy expressed, from human form, but we're not talking about that. And we have to make that distinction. You can't really, um, unfortunately, or not fortunately, you can't personify an entire astrological sign based on the personality of people who happen to be that sign. Um, why do I look like a school teacher? Maybe because I'm about to drop some knowledge on you. And maybe it's the glasses. Either way, um, Pisces energy, remember, this is the 12th house. This is the 12th sign, which means it contains elements and lessons of all the previous signs. So Pisces energy contains multitudes and everything. It is the house of death and rebirth. It is the house of esoteric, and it's the house of dreams. It is ruled by Neptune. With that said, right now, with so much in Pisces and so much Piscean energy happening, everything is ripe for creation, but it's also it's very dreamy. And we love to use that phrase, oh, in my wildest dreams, when dreams come true, sweet dreams, 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 dreams. But it's important to remember that not all dreams are pleasant, some are nightmares. And I don't say that to be a dick. I'm just saying it because we love to ascribe good and bad to things. And that's not how the universe works. That's just how we work. That's what we like to do. We're like, that's a good thing. That's a bad thing. I've simplified my life into one thing or the other thing. And like now life makes sense, but that's not how it works. So, with that being said, the house of dreams, the sign of dreams, the energy of dreams is anything you can think of. It's fantasy. So, right now, we are in a place of pure fantasy energy. And what that means is that it could be your total nightmare or your most incredible dream come true. What dictates that shift and switch is going to be you. So, I mean, that's a hot tip. It's always you. So, you work with this energy or you allow this energy to work over you. That will be a decision that you make. And I suggest you pick the first one. But either way, your journey, right? So, with so much Piscean energy currently swirling around us, dreams are lit, like the ones where you go to sleep. Astral plane lit. A lot of us are feeling exhausted because we actually haven't really slept in probably the entirety of 2022 because of the dreams, right? We're doing a lot of our own work in the astral because that's where we don't have any of our third dimensional programs restricting us from doing what we need to do. So that's what's happening. We're going to talk more in depth about this on Wednesday in Coffee and Coaching when we dive into what it means for Jupiter and Neptune to conjunct, which is happening very soon. And we're already in the energy of that. So if you want to learn more about that, join me for coffee and coaching. You can find more about my programs at saramala.com. We just dropped some new programs. So for those of you who've been here for a while and you saw the update on the website, things have changed. I now have 4 options for you. So ranging from $11 to $66, you can come in and join the community at whatever level feels good for you. I have an app that you can use to access all of the things. We've got some new meditations coming into the rewiring library really soon. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening and a lot more information coming through. For those of you who have sent me messages over the past 6 months or so saying that you want more live channeling, and I'm like, too bad, I don't do that anymore. Well, guess what? I do it now. So we are officially doing live channeling twice a month now. Ashtar is locked and loaded, and so is that night. So if you haven't seen the live channeling, you can get on my YouTube. I've opened up the new moon channeling where the night came through, and you can watch that in its entirety for free. It's on my YouTube channel. That had a ton of insight in there, especially about the redacted female history and Pisces energy. So you might want to go check that out before we have our next channeling on Sunday. be Sunday the 20th at 5 p.m. So if you're interested in learning more about what I do and how you can join the community, just go to sarahmala.com and it should be all right there for you. Okay? I know that night energy is really intense, and sometimes that does happen. Okay, so that's what's happening with the energy right now. Again, we're going to talk more about this in depth with our coffee and coaching call on Wednesday morning. But suffice to say, it's really intense and it's a lot. And actually, one more thing to tell you. If you have been feeling sad, if you have been finding yourself crying a lot, or even just seeking out things that make you cry, do you know what I'm saying? Like things that will make you have that expression, or you just have these moments of just feeling sad when you feel like things in your life are not necessarily sad, but whatever. What's happening with that is a grieving process. I don't really know anyone right now who has not made some sort of shift in their life that is moving them away from things that they once loved, were attached to, or had some really great emotional connections with. It's kind of what happens when you make big shifts, and we're all making big shifts right now. And it's important to remember that while our higher selves are like, hey, this is the greatest thing ever, we're doing this, we're in alignment, this is perfect, our higher selves are not here in our human bodies experiencing the things in the third dimensional way. So there is this in between time where you have to grieve things you have lost. That is natural human stuff. We don't want to bypass it. The grieving processes are really important, and it doesn't mean that you are not excited about what's coming or that you've not done a good job or anything like that. The grieving process means that you are naturally moving through something that needs to be felt. Okay. So I just want to say that to you guys because I know that this time is so confusing because there can be these moments of like everything's so clear and it's amazing and it's gorgeous and it's perfect. And then the next day you're just like, I don't even want to do this anymore. I've made all the mistakes in the world. I can't. I'm sad. I'm crying all the time. And it's like such an up and down, and it can definitely make you feel like, what am I doing? But just know that that's part of the grieving process of moving through this transition. So you're doing great. And it's really important to let yourself cry. If you're one of the millions of people who try to prevent yourself from crying, just remember you need to cry. It needs to come out of your body. That's energy that if you are like holding it, is stuck in your jaw, it's stuck in your throat, it's stuck in your heart. Just let it go. Okay? So without further ado, though, let's switch in to sensory card pulls. And I'm gonna drink some coffee. Beach Doodle says, I cried looking at pics of the old me who is so different now, but in amazing ways. Janine says, I cried yesterday at someone I don't know on Instagram whose cat passed away. Oh my God, that's me every single day. Do not with the animals on either TikTok or Instagram or anywhere. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah. Let me see if I missed anything here. Crystal, what does that mean? Are you all right? Yes, where is your coffee? I'd share, but I don't really share my coffee once it's in my mug. All right. So if you're new to sensory card pulls, Rebecca, you're just in time. Welcome. I'm going to pick 3 things, and then you choose which feels most aligned with you in this moment. Take a minute, feel it out, and then I'm doing 3 separate pulls that will give you some insight. And listen to all of them though, because you never know what's going to hit. Let me just think about what I want to do this morning though. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to do, it's going to be, okay, so the 3 things are things that you would burn. Okay? Things that you burn, like bridges. No. Like this kind of stuff, like herbs that you burn. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, um, so are you ready? Okay. So sage, obviously. So sage is number one. Two is mugwort, and three is palo santo. And if you don't know what any of these things are, it doesn't matter. Just hear the words, feel the vibe of it, and pick which one resonates most with you. Sage, mugwort, or palo santo. Sage, mugwort, palo santo. I swear to God, every time I do a burn thing, somebody makes a 420 comment because you can't help it, can you? And I will shuffle. I'm using my OG deck over here. Um, The Wisdom of Avalon by Colette Baron Reed. I also want to let you guys know that our next intensive, or 8-week intensive, is coming up in April, and I'm opening registration for that sometime this week. But right now, you can get on the wait list for that by emailing me. The intensive is a return to ritual, and 8-week intensives with me are all channeled through. And you also get access to all of my online services during that 8-week period. So you get coffee and coaching on Wednesdays, in addition to our 90-minute weekly coaching sessions, and live channeling and the meditation library. But Return to Ritual is going to be an 8-week intensive where we deep dive into creating rituals that make sense for you, using your own magic, figuring out ways to create space in your life that allow you to really tap into the energies in a way that feels not just safe, but also productive and magical. And it's going to be great. I don't know everything that's going to come through because every time we do these, I have to create the container as big as possible because I channel in these workshops based on those of you who sign up. So when you sign up, we kind of connect energies, and it will be anything that you need. And we are going to do a lot of interfacing this time prior to getting started to make sure that everything you want to discuss is going to be discussed during that 8-week period of time. But these intensive workshops are intense, but you create community. I have a limit to 15 people, so it's not a whole bunch, and it's going to be good. So I'm excited because I miss my Tuesday nights with you guys. So that's going to be happening this week for registration. But again, if you want to get on the wait list, just send me an email, and we will be launching kind of like mid to late April. I can't remember the date that I chose, but I think it's like mid to late April. All right. Are you ready? Sage, mugwort, palo santo. What are you choosing this morning? What are you feeling? Yep. Pick hi Seth Rogen. We're choosing from one of three things. We're doing sensory card pulls. So choose from sage, mugwort, or palo santo, and I'm about to start pulling. Go ahead and drop your selection in the comments. All right, here we go. Sage, palo santo, mugwort. What are you feeling? All right. The first one up is sage. Are you ready? All right. Gosh, I could have sworn we got this last time. Okay, let's see. All right, sage people, here's your story. You got the joy card. You've got the fear card. And look, it's the communication card. Yay. All right, so what's your story if you chose sage? You've got joy, fear, and communication. What a party you must be having at this time. Now, you may have heard me say that Mercury is in Pisces. Okay, Mercury is ruling communication. If you chose Sage this morning, and if this just resonates with you, communicating is not an option anymore. It's the next, do I really want to say that? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it's not an option. Your ability or inability to effectively communicate your needs, your desires, and your general feelings. That has got to be top priority for you right now, because if you cannot communicate your truth out into the world, there is no way that you're going to be able to create the energy that feels most supportive and in alignment with you in your life. You have to be able to say it. You have to be able to say to somebody, what you're doing is not working for me. You have to be able to set your boundaries by speaking them. And when you open your mouth, whatever comes out of there needs to be the actual truth. This is so important right now, because every time we open our mouths and say something to keep the peace, to be nice, or that just isn't in alignment with us at all, we are adding to the dissonance and the chaos by our lack of truth. So let that not be your contribution to the collective at this time. That is something that you can 100% control, and that you can make sure you're not putting pollutants out there by being dissonant, by not being in alignment with your truth. Communication is really, really, really important. At the same time, I bet sometimes speaking makes you very, very scared. And sometimes this might even make you angry because you don't understand why it scares you so much to just say what the hell you want to say. In fact, you may even be a person that is literally the best at holding space and being understanding for other people to say what they need to say. But when it comes to yourself, you're like, no, 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 I don't want to crowd up the room with my opinions. Nobody wants to hear that. Why is that? Well, I do suggest that if you are feeling that, please go and watch that live channeling from March 4th. It's on my YouTube. Um, it talks a lot about why you may have what feels like an irrational fear around speaking your truth. Okay, go check that out. The joy card is also here because on the other side of fear as a program is joy as a feeling. Because when you break through a program that is holding you back, when you do that, on the other side of that is such an expansion that there's space for you to really feel the emotion of joy. So if you chose Sage this morning, let me just truncate it. Good morning, Janelle. You were on the first one. So it's Sage, Mugwort, Palo Santo. This is Sage. Just to kind of bring it all together. You've got the joy, communication, and the fear. Speak your truth even though you're scared. On the other side of that, on the equal part of the equation, you're going to find your joy. Okay? So that is your Sage message for today. Good morning. Next up is Mugwort. So if you chose Mugwort, I hope that resonated for you. Hey, Steph. Oof. Sending you lots of love for your pancreatic surgery. Lots of good vibes. Hey, Christine. Palo Santo is interesting because sometimes that smell is like really good to me, and other times it's overwhelming. And I actually, here's some TMI for you. I got a deodorant that is Palo Santo and frankincense, and it really actually it smells like essential oil Palo Santo, so it's pretty strong. And depending on how my energy is, my own deodorant will upset me, and then I have to like go shower it off because it's too strong. But then other days it's fine. So I don't know. It's interesting with Palo Santo. I've really been back in love with my patchouli, and this is my favorite patchouli spray. It's by Frankie and Myrrh. So love it or hate it, right? Okay, let me get back into this. Okay, so mugwort. Mugwort is a wonderful herb to use for dream recall and for astral traveling. Yes, all three are used to clear the space when burned. Yeah, patchouli, like, I don't know. When I started wearing patchouli a few years back, it was so interesting because I would like go into the airport and people would just stop me and be like, "What is that? What is that smell?" Or somebody would stop me and be like, "You remind me of, being a teenager and like hooking up in the back of a car and like stuff like that." It's like, okay, well, scents are very strong, I see. When I used to make amala oil, which was like I used to make that to use during my energy sessions and during movement sessions, and it was a blend of patchouli with like amber resin, so it had like the patchouli woodiness, and then that sweet amber, and then vanilla, and a little dragon's blood. What else did I put in there? I don't know. I think that's all I put in there. But mm, it's good. I know. Sorry, Cindy. I have like a small handful of people who like bought all of the amala oil back from the last time I made it, which is probably 2 years ago at this point. And it was hard to get the amber resin, the correct amber resin, because not all amber resin has that same smell. Um, and I also don't have a lot of time for creating products right now, but you never know. You never know what'll happen. I used to make the candles with it too. Smells so good. Oh, I feel like I'm getting back into a lot of parts of myself that like I pushed aside over the past couple years. Like I'm learning that I don't need to do that anymore. I can just keep all of my parts, which might sound funny, but just I'm learning. I'm learning it. Hi, teeny tiny. So we're doing sensory card pulls, and we're on the second one. So you're choosing from at this point you're choosing from mugwort or Palo Santo, and I'm about to pull for mugwort. I'm getting not mugwort for wait mugwort. Yes, I'm about to pull for mugwort. I've just gotten derailed by just talking about things. So yes, exactly, Rebecca. Return to ritual, and the thing that like really struck me about our next intensive being return to ritual is that I think that what turned me off from some things was that I don't love the gatekeeping of spirituality and people saying like this is what you have to do otherwise you're wrong, and this is how you do this, and like that's how you do it. I feel like every person needs to be able to tap into what feels most aligned with them and not feel like am I burning the right thing, am I burning the wrong thing, am I doing this right, am I doing that wrong. And so I really wanted to move away from that, but at the same time I find myself being drawn back to my own rituals and into the tactile sensory aspects of it, and how important that is to actually get myself in that space again. So I want to share that with you guys, and kind of learn together about what makes the most sense for you, and like we can explore all kinds of different traditions when it comes to clearing space and ritual and all of that. But basically, the idea for the 8 weeks intensive is to come out of that with your own unique way of creating ritual in your life that makes sense for you, and understanding this energy and how to work with this energy. Because as we move, when we start the 8 week, we will be deep into Aries season, and Aries season is, it's the fire, it's the birth fire, and things are going to be really fast. They're already really fast, but having your buddies for 8 weeks to kind of be in that space with and navigate and create ritual in alignment with the energy that's happening, I think is going to be amazing. So I'm excited to do that. If you're interested in learning more about the intensive, you can send me a DM, but it's better to send me an email or just go on my website, sarahmala.com. Remember, it's Sarah with an H, sarahmala.com, and you'll be able to just get on the wait list, and I'll be sending out an email soon for registration for that. All right. Ready? Oh boy. Oh boy, mugwort people. You've got some different energy today. Your energy is weird. I mean, in a good way, I think. Level out, scroll back twice. Okay, well, you decide what you feel about it. I mean, I'm good being weird. Okay, if you chose mugwort, this is your story for this morning. You got the focus card. You got the cat. And you got the wind fairy. Oh, got it. I'm glad you're here. Stay a while. Okay, so if you chose mugwort, here is your story for today. Focus, the cat, and the wind fairy. The reason that I'm feeling kind of excited about this poll for you guys is because lately in Coffee Magic, the polls have been so consistent about the same cards coming through. And this means that you shifted your energy. Okay? And so, congratulations for today, right? Congratulations. So, focus and the cat and the wind fairy. What does this mean for my mugwort people? And again, if you resonate with this message and you didn't choose mugwort, that's okay. You can have it. You can have any parts that make sense for you. The cat is all about boundaries. Okay? Think about a cat. We talk about this plenty. We talk about dogs and cats a lot. But think about a cat. A cat does not ask you to love it, to respect it, to really, doesn't really care what you do. A cat knows that inherently, because of its presence of being, you should be loving it. You should be respecting it. You should be serving it. A cat walks into the room with a sense of entitlement that somehow just makes us either love or hate cats, right? It's like you either like, wow, I really respect how you give no fucks at all. Or you're like, I'm not a cat person. I only like dogs. And that's fine, whatever. But when this card comes through for you, you're being asked to tap into your cat energy. That means you can jump up on a table, look someone dead on in the eye, and knock their glass over. And guess what? They're gonna take a video of you and tell everybody how adorable you are, you little terrorist, right? And that is the energy that you're being asked to bring to your vibe right now. That that everything you're doing right now is so precious that you're going to be loved. Okay? You do you. You keep your boundaries. You don't do anything you don't want to do. You don't say anything you don't want to say. Whatever you're feeling, you are honoring that. If you're tired, you're going to take a nap because you know that you need to take a nap and that's what you want to do. Okay? The cat. You've also got focus in the wind fairy. The wind fairy we're going to talk about with the focus because this is actually, these two go together. The wind fairy is all about your thoughts. Focus is all about focusing. So let's put them together. You have the power within your brain to create laser beam thoughts that will change whatever you want to change in your life. Your thoughts then create the reality, the intricacies, the energies that surround you. If you are not thinking about the things that you want around you, and instead you are thinking about the things that you do not want around you, guess what's going to happen? The things you don't want will be around you because the universe does not play with your double negatives, okay? It's feelings, it's your thoughts. If you're constantly thinking about terrible things happening, you are pulling that energy in. We all know this. And, when I say this, I'm aware that you know this, but I also know it too, and I need to hear it almost every single day because every day we wake up and it's like, oh my God, here we are again. I've forgotten half the things I know. So don't worry about it. Just reminding you because this is your card pull, mugworts. The focus is really important though right now because we're building actively. Okay. And you need to have alignment of thought here and some sharp focus. It is okay to be a little more general with your thoughts about what you want. Okay. That's fine. But it really, you're being asked to kind of pull it in, pull it in. And what that means is tapping into your cat energy, which means you don't want a whole bunch of other stanky energy around you right now. Um, in fact, that's interesting. My cat's not even in here today. He's usually here for coffee magic. Um, Let me wrap this up concisely. You're tapping into your cat energy to make sure that the energy around you is not distracting you and kind of poisoning the well, so to speak, when it comes to your manifesting energy. If you have people around you, situations around you that are making it impossible for you to focus at all, be the cat and create some boundaries. Do people like it when you create boundaries? Some do. People who actually respect you and are not feeding off of your energy to create their own frequency will be very happy that you've set boundaries because they understand that boundaries save lives. The people in your life who are using you will be unhappy that you set boundaries because then they can't just have free access to eating your energy. Okay? So that is your mugwort thingy reading situation for this morning. Ooh, I just got hungry. Carrie says, I'm here for the cat energy and remembering the feeling of all the things I love around me. Absolutely. All right, the last one is Palo Santo. So if you chose Palo Santo, it's coming up. Let's see what it is. I'm interested to see what comes through because so far our usual suspects are not to be found in this morning's card pulls, which means like, what does it mean? Like, oh my God, it's shift energy again. Like it's a new thing. Thank you. Thanks, Michelle. Michelle says I'm dope. So I'll take it. I'll take it on this Monday. I've been so tired. It's really been a hell of a time, you guys. It's been a hell of a time. You just gotta laugh, right? All right. Ready? Again. It's exciting. It's exciting because like if you like watch the patterns for these card pulls, because I really pretty much always use this deck, there will be stretches of time where everybody is getting the same sets of cards because it's like we all are in this lesson together and we've got to get it. And then like it takes a while, but then like within like 2 to 3 weeks, we move into a different space. And it looks like we have today moved into a kind of a different space. So Palo Santo people, you've got the Queen, the Hawk, and the Risk. Rose, I highly suggest following me over on Instagram or going on my website, sarahmala.com, because I'm about to open up registration for a Return to Ritual intensive 8-week, and we will be talking about all of those things. Those are also questions that you could ask in coffee and coaching on Wednesday morning. So go to sarahmala.com and check that out. Okay, you ready? Risk, the Queen, and the Hawk. So here is your story. Let's first talk about the Risk card. We have had this come up, and the risk is risk is really, this is like perception, right? Things feel risky because we've been told that they are. You know what I mean? Like the programming that we have around change and around, putting ourselves out there can be incredibly prohibitive. Anything new is dangerous and risky, basically. Like, oh my god, you're going to die if you do something new, if you step out of your comfort zone. But then we also have the program that says life begins outside of your comfort zone and like all of those different things. And it's not wrong. Like, whatever your perception is, that's right for you. That's your truth. But right now, you're in a place, my Palo Santo friends, that the risk actually has, even though there's a part of you that's like, ooh, this is risky, you kind of moved past the biggest part of that. And you're now in that space of kind of enjoying the roll of the dice where you're like, you don't know what's going to happen, but there's like that kind of dopamine hit happening because you're a little bit addicted to the game at this point. And that energy is exciting in its own way, and it also may make you feel like, oh no, like, am I in danger? And the answer is no, of course you're not. Like, you're just trying different things, you're moving out of comfort zones, you're breaking all of your generational curses at the moment. So you've got a lot going on, right? As far as like the choices that you're making that like maybe your entire family would disapprove of because they're like, nothing you're doing is safe and we don't understand you. And that's the whole point. It's right. You don't understand me and nothing is making sense to you because I came here to do things completely differently so that I can heal my lineage and you guys can like experience a little bit of freedom, right? So that, there you go. Now, tying into that, you got the queen energy, okay? And the queen energy is, um, sorry, I'm getting this and I just want to make sure I say it in the way that makes no sense. Okay, here's what the queen energy is. And I want you all to listen to this, even if you didn't choose Palo Santo, because I think it's for everybody. I think the queen energy is like, you need to know this. Our sexuality is not separate from our creation energy, from our manifesting, and from our life force. Sexual energy has been shamed and vilified, criminalized in some cases, and that is because of how powerful it is. And when anything has a strong, powerful energy, remember, it's neutral. This is raw life force energy. So it can be used to create or destroy. It can be used to expand or restrict. So there's no right or wrong here. It's just what you do with this energy. The queen is here to remind you that you are the one that dictates how you use your raw life force energy. And your sexuality is how you channel a lot of that energy through. Most women have completely blocked root and sacral chakras, okay? If you have not been consciously doing clearing work in your hip area, in your root and your sacral, then I promise you, you have blockages there. You cannot avoid it. It's something that we carry with us, okay? The queen is asking you to look at that now because here's what it's affecting. And this affects men too. This is not just for women, but it is a lot for women. This energy affects your ability to connect with other women in meaningful and fulfilling ways. This is the energy that makes you spend such an inordinate amount of time attacking your own body. I was I was I was in the bathroom this morning, like, putting my hair together and stuff, really put some time into that. But I was like putting like a little bit of moisturizer on my face. And I was like, oh, look at my pores. And I just thought to myself, we spend a whole lot of time trying to cover up our pores, don't we? And I'm like, what a waste of my time to even think, why am I thinking about my pores at all? Like, how is that even a thing? Then I'm like, smooth my pores. Why is that a thing that I'm thinking about? It's because when I'm thinking about the size of my fucking pores in my face, I'm not thinking about destroying patriarchy because I don't have time for that. Because for heaven's sakes, I can't do anything until I perfect the vessel of my body, and that perfection will never be reached. So I will be busy right here fucking around with this. While where I should be doing is using my very potent sexual creation energy to destroy things that are ruining the world, right? So, all that to say, rant time, all that to say that the queen energy is here to get you to kind of shift back into your own self for a second and see the ways that you are being told to focus on things that do not matter. Tap back into your sex energy. It's very important. Again, we're going to be talking about that plenty in Coffee and Coaching or in the 8-week intensive. So if you want to really deep dive into that, do so. Go to sarahmala.com. Now, the hawk is the last card here. And this is really like a lot of you actually have been seeing hawks, right? We've been having lots of bird energy. Bird energy is going bananas right now because there's a lot of shit to clear from the what do you call it? Oh my god. There's a lot of energy to clear that's been dredged up and is swirling, and we need the bird energy and the dragon energy. They work together. Um oh my god, my brain. They're clearing. The birds are clearing the energy right now. That's what I'm saying. Jesus Christ. So yeah, so that's what's happening. Okay. So there's your message for your Palo Santo. I hope that resonated with you. So yeah. Well, happy Monday. Again, if you're new to me and you would like to learn more about what I do and how to join our community, which is like filled with all of the best people ever, sarahmala.com. You can find all the things there. If you did not see the live channeling from March 4th, I have that open in public on my YouTube channel, and you can go and watch it. I really highly recommend, if you don't do anything else with me, that you go watch that, because the channeling that came through was from this female knight, and they talked about redacted female history, and it was freaking fascinating, and I can't wait to tap back into that on Sunday. We have our live channeling Sunday at 5 p.m. This will be for the full moon in Virgo energy. Inner Sanctum members, on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the Pisces Jupiter Neptune conjunction. We're going to be talking about the full moon in Virgo that's coming up and all the things. So I'll see you Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Otherwise, if my coffee and magic people, I'll be back here at 10 a.m. on Friday. So I love you. Have an amazing day. Like and follow. If you're on if you're on TikTok, you might want to follow me on Instagram because it's easier to see all of the things. Drink water. Be kind to yourself. Cry when you need to cry because it's very important. And I love you. Mwah. Goodbye. Thank you so much, Rose. I appreciate it.